Well, just 2 weeks remain in the college football regular season as Alabama is back home Saturday to welcome in Chattanooga. One final tune-up before the Iron Bowl. Of course, Mike McCoy, Simone Eli joining you to break everything down as the Tide roll on and look to stay undefeated in conference play here in a couple of weeks and take all that momentum into postseason play. Let's go head-to-head. Welcome in, everybody. First things first, Mike, we got to talk about this Kentucky win and the dominant performance by Jalen Milroe. I know you've been saying, I want to see a complete game. From that guy, I don't know how you could ask for anything more than what we saw.
Again, man, like I say, we look at that baby Vince Young and Cam Newton in what was that, 2010 Cam Newton?
Yep.
That's what you're going to get with him, man. He's electric. He's a game changer, and his teammates absolutely love him.
Yep.
So I'm excited. I'm a fan. I've been a fan since day one of Milroe.
Well, you kind of predicted this one on par because when you were talking scoring 40-something for the Tide last week, I thought you were crazy. I'm thinking there's no way you go on the road against an SEC opponent and you hang 40-some points, but they sure did. Milroe, 3 passing, 3 rushing touchdowns. He was just unstoppable. He got Kobe Prentice in the game, Roy Dale Williams. These are guys you've been harping on. Somebody's listening to you in Tuscaloosa. Finally, Mike.
You know what? I said, they've been listening to me. Tommy Reese, they watching. I still need to see a little bit more play action, guys. Sure. I need to see some guys in the mix. I'm trying to figure out why haven't we heard Jeremiah Moon? I mean, not
he's
Jeremiah
thrown out more
Moon,
guys.
But
yeah.
Jeremiah Alexander that played at Thompson. I
Okay.
heard he's switched to linebacker. I want to see him. The boy can play.
Okay.
What are we waiting on?
Okay, well, we will see. Obviously, 2 more weeks left, and this is one of those weeks where a lot of guys are going to get playing time. And I'm not trying to just, say, okay, well, Alabama this is a cupcake game, but I think we all know what the role is that this game plays prior to going into the big rivalry game. But it is an opportunity, as Nick Saban said in his Monday press conference, for guys to work on themselves, to perfect their craft, and then for younger guys to also get opportunities that are valuable regardless of the opponent.
Yes, like you just said, right now this week is going to be fine-tuning. I don't expect the starters to be in more than halftime, honestly, because you're about to get ready to go into the playoff stretch.
Mm-hmm.
Keep my fingers crossed, but we all know Bama get in. That money talks.
We'll see.
The money talks. When the money talks, they know who's going to fill up the stands.
We'll see. We're
going to be in the top 4.
Yeah. Well.
But, Go ahead. You were about to say something?
No, I mean, you're right. But obviously, the SEC title game, a huge point of emphasis. And that was one thing for this Kentucky game that was so big for Alabama is to clinch the West title. They'll be back in Atlanta for the 7th time in the last decade. Knowing that is ahead, how do you stay focused on the game that is right in front of you?
Well, I'm sure what Coach Saban is preaching is one game at a time. His philosophy doesn't change. The standard is always going to be the standard with that guy.
Yeah.
And I think, like you just said earlier, he's going to make these young boys add value to themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking to see what these second and these third string guys are going to do. And honestly, they may be better than the starters. We don't know. All we can do is assume and get a chance to sit back and evaluate. But I think it's going to be a fine-tuned game. I expect the first team to come out and put on a dominant performance.
Mm-hmm.
And the second half, I expect them to put those other guys, I don't even like saying backups, those other athletes in.
Yeah.
Give them a fair shot. I think this will help them add value to themselves. This will be this live bullets. This is not practice anymore. So allowing them to get their feet wet. And if he's smart, what I'm thinking is this is how you keep those guys from jumping into the portal. You throw those dogs some bones to keep them around.
And we know that that's true, Mike, because last week Nick Saban talked about guys needing to get opportunities, needing to know that they're going to get playing time, because if they don't, we live in a day and age, we live in a world right now where guys want that instant gratification. They want those instant opportunities. If you don't abide by that a little bit, you're going to lose players to other programs who will tell them that you're going to be on the field right away.
You said a mouthful. And again, he's smart enough to change. He's a businessman.
Yep.
I even, just far as the relationship, now we love Miss Terry when we were there, because when she used to come to practice, He ain't cussing. He's not. He may call us up early. If she look at him and say, "Baby, they done for the day. We done."
Okay, this is amazing. We have to talk about Miss Terry. Before you move on, though, I have to ask you about Miss Terry because Nick Saban said this in his Monday press conference that she and Terrion and other players on the team have a really good relationship with Miss Terry. Coach Saban said this, and that it kind of plays out in a way where he tries to be like the rule enforcer and the tough guy, but she's like Mama Bear who comes in and just gives guys kind of what they want. What is that dynamic like when she is around for players? And is it really like that parent relationship?
Now I can honestly attest to this. Now, we didn't get none of that love because when he came in, he was major pain.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? He was with no foolishness. But when she used to pop out, we knew it was going to be a good day. I mean, if she came, it was going to be a good day. He ain't going to cut up.
Yeah.
It goes from your players to your pimps to every man in the world. It's always that one woman that got that. She got she got it on them. So Miss Terry, I don't know what she got on them, but she got it on them.
Well,
and
happy wife, happy life.
That's what they say.
That is what they say. That is what they say. I would have to agree with it in some sense sometimes, but I love that. It was cool to see Coach, and we've kind of seen this from him almost every single week. A lighthearted moment in a press conference, a post game, or a preview press conference. But it's been nice to kind of see Coach's personality throughout this season, and I think that now that this team is proving to be one of the stronger caliber teams that Alabama has had, regardless of the doubters early on, I think that he is starting to get more comfortable and just be more excited about the guys around him a little bit.
Well, I think, too, him, I think you often say it's a Jedi mind trick. I think he understands that Milroe has got that team under control.
Yeah.
You got leaders. You hear him talk about Malachi on a constant basis. You talk about Blackman on a regular basis, Tim Keenan on a consistent basis. So when you got guys that hold the players accountable, it makes his job so much easier.
Amen.
Because at the end of the day, when you are the head coach, you essentially are the CEO.
Yep.
You're putting people in places to be successful.
Yep.
But when you got line workers, when you got guys in place where I can turn my back, I don't have to worry about them cheating on the rep. I don't have to worry to make sure that they're watching enough film. It makes his job easier. So he can take us. He can smoke on that cigar. He probably ain't gonna smoke on camera.
He won't.
I'm just playing.
I want to quickly thank our sponsor, the Alabama Cattlemen's Association. Of course, Mike joining us from Maximum Performance Institute in Bessemer. Mike, when you look at this Chattanooga team, as we know, this is a tune-up for Alabama. They're looking to work on themselves. What is maybe a point of emphasis in practice that you would see from Coach Saban as they know that the Iron Bowl is ahead on the road, but hey, this is senior night. This is the last game in Bryant-Denny Stadium of the season. Like, let's focus on this, but knowing they're really preparing for 2 weeks from now.
Well, I can say this. Like I know you're a former athlete. The biggest difference between Division I or a high major and a mid major are the bigs up front. So those skill guys are still gonna come out blazing. We can't sleep on these cats. Prime example. I remember we played FIU. I remember I scored a touchdown. And I remember they kicked off T. Whitehill. It looked like somebody was fast forwarding TV. He kicked the ball, it was like this. Oh, all we saw was him catch the ball, and we went just like this. Oh, he getting drafted. That was literally it. That was literally it. So these guys are going to come out guns blazing. But like you said, I expect our interior guys to dominate up front. That's going to be the difference maker. And I'm expecting Coach Saban to give a lot of these guys their flowers this game. So
I like that.
It's gonna be a good game.
We will see. It'll be an 11 a.m. kickoff at Bryant-Denny Stadium. Let's do predictions here, Mike. You had Alabama scoring 40-something on the road against Kentucky. They did. Can't imagine what this one's going to look like. I personally am thinking like a 45-7, maybe 45-3, somewhere in there. But, it's going to be hard for Chattanooga to get on the board. You never know. I mean, sometimes you get a busted coverage and something works out. But I'm kind of liking 45-7, something like that.
I'm going to go 63.
Oh, wow. Don't hurt them.
To 10.
Okay.
You give them a field goal.
Okay.
They make it 13, but I'm going 63-10.
63. Okay.
These boys got something to prove. They trying to get these stats up. They trying to get that money.
I was going to ask you, do you feel like that pedal to the metal type of mentality is going to be in the back of the minds of the coaching staff, Nick Saban, the players, knowing that, hey, we do have that one loss. Sometimes, not sometimes, every year that plays a role in who ends up being in the playoff picture. We need to make a statement every single game.
If Coach Saban wants to get in that playoff, he has to instill a dominant performance from here on out. You cannot ease. If I don't do that, sportsman, that's why I couldn't be a coach. And they're like, well, we need to. It's a sportsman. Like, hey, man, forget all that. Stop us. You a loser. I don't do that. I don't do that well. I can't stand being a high achiever. Yep. I can't be around a mediocre person. I hate being around.
Yep.
So stop the offense. If you can't be a stopper, you signed up to play this game. You knew what it was. Mm-hmm. You came into Bryant-Denny. What we say every time before we walk out that tunnel, lock the mother freaking gate.
Well, we will see. 11 a.m. kickoff, Bryant-Denny Stadium. It is the Tide's final home game, welcoming in Chattanooga. Thank you so much for tuning in to Head to Head, Mike. I'm looking forward to next week as we prepare for the big one on the Plains. You're gonna be fired up. I can already feel it. Your energy is gonna be like a 12 out of 10.
I'm due. I'm ready to go.
It's gonna be great. All right, guys. Thank you so much to our sponsor, the Alabama Cattlemen's Association. We will see you next week.
Hey.
Brought to you by Alabama Beef Farmers and Ranchers.